Hello everyone, welcome back to Survivor Talks with Mike. Today we'll be covering Survivor 43, Episode 6, where we got the merge episode finally. Let's hop right into the recap. We start at Coco, where they get tree mail and learn that it's the merge. Ryan says that after last tribal council, he is going to be a free agent. We go over to this merge group. They all meet each other. Owen gives a confessional where he runs through all the idols and advantages he's aware of. They have fun with the Chiron at the bottom of the screen for this, and it's just a really interesting way of letting the audience know where every advantage is. Noel tells Ellie that Cody got all the beads for his hat, which in turn tells Ellie that Cody has the idol. Ellie says that she's way better at this game than she expected she would be, which just made me want to see her be voted out at the end of this episode even more. We go straight to the challenge where they are split into two groups of 6 by picking rocks, and Noel is left out. She has to choose one team to root for, and she can't compete, but her fate is tied to that team. She chooses the blue team. Red gets out to an early lead, but blue figures out the puzzle first and wins, giving Noel, Dwight, Jesse, Janine, Gabler, Ryan, and Carla immunity at the merge feast. We then go over to the camp where the people who are vulnerable are going to have their own meal. Ellie feels responsible for the loss due to volunteering to do the puzzle. Ellie wants to tell Coco that they are voting Cody, but really wants to team up with Vessi and split the votes on James and Cassidy. We go over to where the feast is happening, and Ryan throws out that this group of 7 could be the final 7, and nobody else really wants that. They all start discussing, and nobody wants to throw out a name except for Gabler, who throws out Ellie. And then he tells us that by throwing out Ellie's name, he's throwing out Ellie's name, which was just a funny quote to hear. We go back to the camp where Ellie tells the Vessi group that Cassidy threw out Cody's name. Janine tells her that Gabler threw her name out there as well. Ellie confronts Gabler about this and says that she didn't look into his bag. Technically it was Janine, but Ellie was right there with her. Ellie is desperately trying to recover her name from being seen as a snake, but I think she is making matters far worse by continuously throwing different names out there. On top of that, it gets back to Coco that Ellie was throwing out both Cassidy and James's name. Gabler reveals that Janine has an idol right in front of Ryan while they're talking. The backup members think they convinced Gabler to just work with them for at least this vote and stay back strong, but he doesn't want to and is going to try to get Ellie out. Janine then promises Ellie that if she feels Ellie is in danger, she will give her the immunity idol. We then go to Tribal Council where they talk for a long time using a lot of vaguely meaningless language to not give anything away. They finally go vote, and Ellie is voted out 7-2 to 1 with James, Cassidy, and Owen all receiving votes as well, and Janine and Jesse both not having a vote, and Janine didn't use her idol. So my thoughts on Ellie: she seemed like a good player out the gate, but she played way too hard and got burned. It made for some really fun TV, however, and her downfall was like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off through the entire pre-merge. My review for this episode: this was such a good merge episode. All the chaos when they got back to camp was immensely fun to watch. It was very satisfying to see Ellie go from feeling like she's running the game to being voted out. It really told the story of how that would happen, with her being overconfident and comfortable to throw out so many different names to different people and think that it wouldn't come back. My one complaint was that Tribal Council was longer than it needed to be, since nothing was really said for a long time. I give episode 6 a score of 9.5 out of 10. My predictions going forward: I think that this episode was the payoff for the pre-merge, and it kind of resets things in a lot of ways. I still think that Carla, James, and Cassidy are in a good position, and Ryan is in a better position than he had been, but him saying this could be the final 7 and nobody really agreeing to it made him look kind of bad. The Vessi tribe members didn't get a lot of attention, but I would still say that Jesse looks like he could do pretty well, and Cody might have to be careful since his name was out there, and he does appear to be a bit of a threat, and people are becoming aware of his idol. The backup members had the biggest shakeup. Janine and Owen's position looked like it got worse, but I do think that they are salvageable. But I could see Owen taken out in an attempt to avoid Janine's idol next episode. But if not, then I think Owen can manage to rework his way into the majority. Sammy could be in trouble just due to looking like a physical threat, but he was on the right side of the vote in this episode at least, and Gabler's position actually improved quite a lot. He was at the bottom of his tribe, so by flipping on them, he's already looking better, but I would still say that I can't see him winning, even if he could end up going all the way to the end at this point. He doesn't really seem like a threat, so that they could keep him around, but they also might just decide to vote him out in the next 1 or 2 episodes. But if he makes it through that, I could see him making it all the way to the end and just not winning. That's all I got for this episode. It was a really fun one. I hope you liked this. If you did, hit like. If you want to see the next one, hit subscribe.